Hi again. It's me, Stacy. Welcome back to What If Wednesday. Today's story, What If Things Don't Go My Way, is about my friend Ellie. Ellie loves when everything goes just right. But sometimes, people don't always follow the rules the way she thinks they should. Let's see how Ellie responds when things turn out differently than she expected. Ellie is 10 years old, and she's really good at following rules. She loves when things are organized, fair, and just the way she expects. Ellie relies on routine and likes to mentally prepare for the day. It helps her feel calm and ready. Every morning at school, Ellie checks the classroom schedule as soon as she walks in. It helps her feel prepared and ready for what's coming next.
I like knowing what to do and when to do it. Surprises? Not my thing.
Later at recess, Ellie saw a group of kids playing hopscotch and ran over to join them, but something was different. Each time a student stepped up to the squares, they spun in a circle before hopping. One by one, they all shouted, "Spin before you hop!" Ellie stopped in her tracks. Her smile faded.
Wait, that's not how the game goes. That's not fair. You're supposed to follow the rules.
Ellie crosses her arms and walks away. She says to herself, "They're not doing it right. Why doesn't anyone care?" Later that day, Ellie stood next to her teacher, Ms. Adams, in the classroom. You could tell Ellie was still frustrated. Ms. Adams looked at her kindly and said, "You look frustrated, Ellie. Want to talk?" Ellie nodded and said, "Everyone was changing the rules at recess. It wasn't fair, so I just left." Ms. Adams thought for a moment, then asked, "Can we control what other people do?" Ellie looked down and answered softly, "No." "Exactly," Ms. Adams replied. "We can't control others, but we can choose how we respond." Sometimes being flexible helps us stay connected, even when it's hard. Ellie was quiet, then said, "So, I don't have to like it, but I can still choose how I react?" Ms. Adams smiled and nodded. "You've got it." And just like that, Ellie took her first step toward thinking flexibly. The next day at recess, Ellie saw the same group of kids playing hopscotch again. They were still doing the silly version, spinning before they hopped. One of them looked over and said, "Hey, Ellie, wanna join?" Ellie paused. You could see it on her face. She wasn't sure. It wasn't the way she liked to play. It still felt off. But then Ellie took a deep breath and stepped forward. Ellie stood there for a moment thinking.
Okay. I can't make them follow my rules. But I don't want to miss out. What if I try to join, even if it feels a little weird?
So she gave it a try. Ellie took a deep breath, stepped forward, and spun around before hopping into the hopscotch squares. Her spin was a little wobbly and her landing wasn't perfect, but the other kids laughed and cheered. "Nice spin, Ellie," one of them called. Ellie smiled. It still wasn't her favorite way to play hopscotch, but now she was part of it. As the game ended, Ellie stood beside her friends, smiling and waving as they cheered her on. Her heart still felt a little unsure, but something inside her felt proud too. Ellie had tried something new, and even if it wasn't her favorite version of the game, she had found a way to be part of it without losing who she was. That evening, Ellie opened her journal and began to write. She didn't write about how perfect the day was because it wasn't, But she did write about being brave enough to try, about choosing to stay calm even when things felt unfair, and about learning that flexibility didn't mean giving up. It meant growing stronger.
Today, I learned I can't control what other people do, but I can decide if I want to sit out or stretch myself and join in. It wasn't perfect, but it felt good to try.
Pause and think with me for a minute. What did Ellie do when things didn't go her way? Can you remember a time when you felt frustrated like that? What could you do to stay calm next time, even if things don't turn out how you expected? Take your time. You're learning something powerful. Now it's your turn to wonder, what if I practiced being flexible, just like Ellie? I'll see you next time for another What If Wednesday.